guys, welcome to Top Dog Tips. Today, if you can't tell, I want to talk to you guys about pet gates. And there's so many different styles and types on the market that I wanted to show you guys three very different but very beneficial types that all have their own pros and cons. And talk to you a little bit about why each one is great for different situations. It's really hard to pick a favorite pet gate or a top pet gate because they all do have different functions and different features. I personally go for simple things that don't require a lot of my time or attention because we live a very busy lifestyle. We have 3 dogs, 3 cats, 2 rabbits, we have hamsters, we have kids, I have a husband, we have a house to maintain, and both my husband and I work full time. So you know, we live a very busy lifestyle. We're always, it seems like, coming and going, and there's always other things to do aside from fool around with the products that we buy for our pets. So I try to find things that are just simple, quick, easy. They're gonna make my life easier. They're gonna make things safer or better for our pets. And that's what I try and go with. And so with taking that reasoning into consideration, my favorite pet gate and the one that we use in our home for our dog is this simple design from Evenflo. Now this is a design that you can find everywhere, from big box stores to pet stores. This is about the most standard pet gate there is. It's very simple to use and it's got a very basic design. So that's great. This one is actually extra tall because we have large dogs. So some that you might see will look similar, but they're only about this tall. Obviously, again, depending on your pet, that would be your choice, but we do have the extra tall gate. These are durable gates. These are called pressure mounted gates, and what a pressure mounted gate is well, I can show you really quick. You just pull up on this, and it has these little rubber things on each end. And then when you push this lever down, or however the gate is pressure mounted, it pushes hard enough to be stable on the wall. Whoops, I didn't get that very good, did I? This is kind of weird because this wall it's kitty cornered and it's not straight across. But it pushes hard enough to be stable so that if your dog jumps up on it or somebody bumps into it or whatever, the gate's going to stay put, but it doesn't require any hardware to be mounted into your wall. So there's that variation. This one's a pressure mounted gate too. This is from a company called Carlson. Obviously you can see it's kind of the same setup, but a very different type of pet gate, much more professional looking. It definitely has, you know, this one from Evenflo is more basic and just a simple design. This one's definitely more aesthetically pleasing and has more features that way. But again, another pressure mounted gate. You can also get pet gates that are similar to this, but they are mounted onto your wall, and right here where these little things are to put pressure on the gate, there will actually be hardware that screws into your wall and connects to the gate that keeps the gate there permanently. If you are using a gate for a puppy, you don't want hardware stuck into your wall that's going to be there forever. If it's something that you never want your dogs to go in the kitchen, you want them to learn not to go in the kitchen, or there's a certain bedroom or your office or a craft room or something like that you always want to keep them out of, having a hardware gate isn't a bad option. But these two are both pressure mounted. And then you can see this one in front of me, and this one folds. It's got the nice hardwood look. It's definitely the most aesthetically pleasing gate, and this nice dark brown color will blend in with just about any home's decor. So this is a gate if you're looking for something that looks a little bit more elegant, not quite so pet gatey. These ones kind of scream baby gate or pet gate, where this one is just really a nice addition to your living space. Also, you can see with this one, and there are others that do this as well, you can use it like this. You can fold out all 3. So this is going to fit a much bigger area, where your pressure mounted and your hardware gates aren't going to fit as big of an area. They're typically made for doorways or doorways that are a little bit standard. If you have a large opening like this, Our kitchen's in there, there's a hallway over here, and the camera, you guys, are situated in our living room. So this is the entryway to our living room. It's larger than most doorways. Some people have nice archways that go into certain rooms, or just a really big opening. There's no doorway at all, but the floor plan of your house is very open, and there's just a big opening there. A gate like this would be more functional for something like that. So, but definitely pros and cons to all these gates, and really the gate that you're shopping for is going to depend on your particular needs and where the gate's going to be placed. But we can definitely, talk a little bit more about that as I go through these gates, what these ones are used for. So I'll get into that, and I'll do a little bit on each individual gate so that you can see the features of every one and learn a little bit more about it. I did forget to tell you, this one's from a company called Primetime Pets. So I have Primetime Pets, we have Carlson Pet Products, and this one's from Evenflo. So I will give you a little bit more in-depth information on each of these. This particular pet gate, which is from Carlson Pet Products. Carlson Pet Products makes this pressure mounted gate. It is more aesthetically pleasing than some, but certainly not as aesthetically pleasing as some of the more wooden gates and the ones that are more luxurious looking. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle there, and it definitely screams, I'm keeping something out. It's a pet gate, it's a baby gate, it's something like that. So if you're looking for something that's going to mesh with the decor of your home and not really stand out, this probably isn't the model for you. But it definitely suits the purpose if you have a dog that you're trying to keep out of somewhere. Now this one expands from 39 to 34 inches regularly, and we'll talk about that in just a second. There, it comes with extenders as well. So if the regular gate goes from 29 to 34 inches. It comes with a 4-inch extender and a 6-inch extender, which if you combine those, because you can use the 4 and the 6 inches at the same time, it can get up to 34 inches of extension. You can use the 6, it extends up to 34. You can use the 4-inch plus the 6-inch, and it gets you to 44 total inches with this pet door. This feature down here, you can see this tiny little door down here. There's a little latch that you pull it out and you can lock it in there. This is for cats or smaller animals. Maybe you have a big dog that you want to keep out of somewhere, but the little dog can go, which isn't very nice if you do that. But if you have cats that you want the cats to be able to come and go, or maybe you want to put this in the bathroom or the room where there are litter boxes, and you want the cats to be able to get in there but not the dogs, that's a great option. So that's why you see that little door down there. And that measures 10 inches by 7 inches. If you have like a really big cat or something that you're worried about that, the dimensions of that's 10 inches by 7 inches. You can pick up this gate on Amazon for about $40. Is it worth the $40? Certainly, because it does do its job. However, this gate, there's a lot of work with this gate. Whereas some of the pressure mounted gates, there's just a bar that you kind of measure to where you want it and put the bar down and it pressure mounts. This one takes a lot more work, so I'm going to show you how it works for now. First of all, I'm 5'2", and I can step over this gate on my tiptoes. So if that's something that you don't want to fool around with the gate itself to open and close all the time, you can step over it. I'm very short, so I would assume that most of you are taller or about my same size. So to open it, there's this red thing right here, and you pull that back, lift up on this, and you can see that this part is going to slide in. And then you can open the gate and walk through it. And then to shut the gate, all you have to do, you keep this open, because if you don't, it's going to close that. So you keep this open, push that down, and then just make sure that it locks into that red thing. So it doesn't take a lot of effort. I can do it with one finger. And then the gate's locked again. So the actual, to open and close the gate, not too bad. But to actually get the gate set up, now these little gray things on the side, these are all pressure mounted, or pressure mounts, I guess I should say. They're all 4 pressure mounts. So if you have a standard gate, a lot of times, like I said, there's that bar that lifts up, and there's just one thing that you need to do to pressure mount this gate. For this gate, there's a pressure mount on all 4 corners, and you need to adjust it at every single corner, so that takes some more time. now you can see the gate swings open. And the reason for that is because there will be a gap here. As I keep doing this, you'll see the gap grow as you pressure mount the gate, and that's kind of your sign that you've put enough pressure on, that this gap will close. It will bend in, and then the gate will hold itself closed. But when there's not enough pressure on it, the gate won't do that. So you continue twisting all of these, and I'm sorry that it's taking so long. I will get all of these off, and then I will come back and show you. Okay, so I got those all off, and what they are is, and these come fully assembled for you. There's like a little rubber thing on the end of this big long screw, and then this slide that you turn and it'll slide, and you just slip these in here. You don't have to do any work to like attach them or anything like that. You just do that, and then you put it in your doorway, and then as you spin the spinner, it will push out the screw until you do that on all four, until the pressure is mounted enough and the gate's closed back up. Whoops, not this side. I mentioned that there were extenders too. If you have a wider doorway and you want to use those extenders, you just pull out two on one side. Here are the extenders that I was telling you about. This is the 6-inch one, and they just go in those holes where the pressure mounts go. And I'll put this is the 4-inch one, and I'll slide that in there too. So it doesn't take a lot of time to do that. It's just the turning and turning and turning to mount all four corners. So now you stick these back in, and you'll notice now it sticks out a little ways, and that's so that it comes out past this bar. And again, you just will simply turn those pressure mounts and keep turning them. And eventually, when it's in the doorway, the pressure will be enough that these will pull together, and it will close that gate, and you'll be able to use the pet gate. But the first time that I assembled this gate, it took me about 15 minutes to get it all set up in the doorway that we use it in, which 15 minutes isn't that long, but if you're going to be moving this around, 15 minutes every time you have to set it up can get old really quickly. So especially if you don't know the width of the doorway and you have to use the extenders and things like that, I might add even a little bit more time than that. So that's the biggest drawback to this one, is that, you know, it does take time to pressure mount it, but it is stable when you do get it mounted, and you know, it is a little bit more attractive than some of those standard baby gates. So that's a nice feature, is that it looks a little bit nicer than the standard ones. And it works well. The gate's nice. It has a little pet gate. Like I said, if you're trying to keep a dog out of the litter box or something, that's a really great feature to have. This one again costs $40, which is kind of mid-level in the pet gate game. You can get some as cheap as like $15 or $20, and then you can get some that are like over $100. So it's low to mid range, so it's not super expensive, very affordable. And again, this is from Carlson Pet Products. This is a pressure mounted gate from a company called Evenflo. This is can be used for a baby gate or a pet gate. And this is a pretty standard gate that you can find almost anywhere. You can find it online retailers, pet stores, big box stores, everywhere. Different companies make them, but they're all pretty much the same style, and you know, quality is going to differ depending on the brand. But this one from Evenflo is very durable, so that's something that you want to look for in a pet gate, because your dog's going to be pushing on it, you're going to be walking over it or opening it and closing it. You want something that's going to be durable. This one runs about $30, which is on the cheaper end of pet gates. Some of them you can get around 15 or 20 bucks, but they go over $100 too. So this is definitely on the cheaper end of things. So you can pick this up for $30 on Amazon. It is 32 inches tall. This is the extra tall. You can buy one that's not quite as tall. I think they're 24 inches tall. If you have large breeds like we do, we have a chocolate lab and a boxer. So obviously we want something that they're not going to be able to climb or jump over. So that's why we chose the extra tall one. That's something that you need to think about as well with your pets. For our little Beagle mix Molly, we probably could have got the 24. Well, she's a pretty good jumper. I don't know. But anyway, that's something that you would need to think about. If you have a small little Yorkie that doesn't like to jump or climb, the shorter one would probably be fine. This one can expand from 31 to 50 inches. So measure your doorway, but that's going to fit a standard doorway, and it's also going to fit a much larger doorway. That's quite a good expansion. So that's something to definitely be mindful of though before purchasing, is measuring your doorway. So I just want to show you how quickly and easily this works, and why this is my favorite pet gate and my pet gate of choice. So you see this bar here that comes up, and it's got all these notches in it, and then there's this little metal piece here that fits right in those notches. And all you do, so like right now, this is, oh, that's way too short for our door. So you're going to come up a couple of notches, push it again, oh, too small, and keep kind of trial and error. This is close, but you want it to have a lot of pressure. So you want to get one where, it takes you quite a lot of pressure to push it down, and then it's going to be locked into place. You can see that if I go down one, it locks it, whoa. It just kind of barely locks it in place here, so it's still wobbly. So I'm going to go back up to the one that I had it on. And these are marked too, so you know, like this is 35 inches, so I'm at 36, 37 inches right now. And then you can remember, if you're moving the gate around a lot, you could even put a marker on there yourself. So that's nice and sturdy. This is an extra tall gate, so I am 5'2". I can climb over it on my tiptoes, but it is at, whoops, I didn't get that very level, did I? I noticed that till I got on the side of it. So, I'm 5'2", and I can climb over to my tiptoes, but little kids couldn't get over this gate, so that's something to consider. I'm assuming that most of you are my height or a little bit taller. If you're shorter than I am, it's probably going to be difficult for you to get over. If you're 5 feet and taller, I'm going to say you can probably get over it on your tiptoes, depending on how long your legs are. But if you have short legs, you might want to invest in a gate that opens. They make pet gates that are pressure mounted like this, but there's like a gate inside the gate essentially. So it's pressure mounted, and there's a gate in the middle that can open so you can walk through. And those are really nice. You don't get that option with this gate. However, the reason that we use it and the reason that it's my top pick for pet gates is because it's easy, it's affordable, and it's portable. We like to take our dogs with us wherever we go. If you take them to a hotel with you, you can keep them enclosed in a smaller space there. If you can close off, if there's some have like a separate bedroom, and you can keep them out of there if you wanted to do that. If you take them traveling, we travel a lot to visit family and friends. My husband's in the military, so we travel to visit with him. And when we go to his apartment, we bring our pet gate with us, and it keeps the dogs in a special area in his apartment. When we visit other family members, we can keep like our dogs in our room where we're staying, so they're not just running all over the house while we're gone, things like that. So it's easy to travel with, it's affordable, and it's sturdy, it's secure, it's extra tall, so even our boxer and our chocolate lab can't get over it. This is really, for $30, you're getting a great piece of equipment that's going to last a long time. This is going to last not just through one pet, but this will last for generations of pets. So that's what we look for. It is certainly money well spent, and that always makes me happy as a pet owner. So that is my reasoning for picking this one. It's just the the ease of use, really. The other pressure mounted gates will have like certain little pressure mounts on every corner, so you have to turn 4 things or lock 4 things into place to get it mounted correctly. It takes more time, they're harder to move around. So this is nice, it's simple, it's easy, it's sturdy, and that's why I love it. If your dog is really big, a shorter gate like this one isn't going to work. This one's only a couple of feet tall, so if you have, even our chocolate lab could get over it if she wanted to. She doesn't really try to, but if she did, she could do it easily. If you have a larger dog like a Great Dane or a St. Bernard, they might be able to step over this gate without even a lot of work to jump over it. So that's something to think about. How strong is your dog? This gate does not attach to anything. It's open on both ends. It's loose on both ends. So it works well in an area like this that we want to, this is our living room where the camera is, and out here is our kitchen and the rest of our home. So we wanted to keep the dogs contained in the living room. This is a great option because this is a really weird doorway. But if you have a dog that's going to try and push past this gate, it's going to be able to in no time. So how tall is your dog? How big is your dog? Or the size of your dog in general, I guess. And then how strong your dog is. And you also want to think about where you're going to be using it. Is your doorway an awkward one like this one? Is it a standard doorway like this where you could use a traditional gate? Are you going to be traveling? Are you going to be moving the gate around? Whether in your home, if you're going to be moving it from upstairs to downstairs frequently, or do you travel? You know, we travel with our pets a lot, and we have a standard gate that goes in a doorway that's just pressure mounted that we carry with us, that we take with us everywhere to keep our dogs contained when we're at someone else's house. So something like this, you know, it folds up so it's easier to travel with, but depending on the area that you go in, this gate might not fit. So you have to think about those kind of things, you know, your dog and the use of the gate itself. So I want to talk about this gate. Again, it's from a company called Primetime Pets, and this is a great gate. Oh, look. Nope. As you can see, it's a gate in a gate. I was going to let our cat, that was our cat Figaro, but maybe he'll come now. Will I go through, buddy? So it works well for situations like that, or for you to walk through as well. You can tell that this is a very short gate, so I can step over it easily. I'm only 5'2", and I can easily step over this one, so not a problem at all. The only thing I did want to mention, sorry, I just wanted to check that number. The gate itself you can order on Amazon for $78, so $80 is definitely in the upper level of the price range for pet gates. So it's a bit more expensive, but as you can tell, it's one of the most aesthetically pleasing pet gates on the market. It's not the, you know, the cheaper looking ones. It's not one that has like the plastic. This is a beautiful wooden gate. It has that chocolate brown color, so it'll match any home's decor. That stuff is really great, you know, but it does come with a price, and it extends to 76 inches wide. So again, you know, if you have a funny kind of a entryway like this, or you have a little area that you want to keep your dog away from, one of the things that I thought of, this would go perfectly around a garbage can if you wanted to keep your pet away from the garbage. If you have a dog that loves to get in the garbage, if you have, you know, a place in your home like this that it has kind of a funny entryway, it works well like that. And the other thing that this gate does very well is it transforms into any shape that you need. So if you need it to go straight across, it can do that. But these actually, they call it a 360 configurable pet gate because these can go either way. They have double hinges to go both ways. So if you only need this much space, say you're traveling with it and you only need this much space, you can fold one in half. If it's something where you could, for example, I could do it up here and kind of, you know, a standard pet gate wouldn't fit here. This is kind of awkward now, but if it was something where, you know, you could make that work. So there are lots of different configurations for it, depending on your space. And then of course it has this little, you can see the latch at the top, you just slide that over. It's really easy to open it up and be able to walk through the gate. So that's a nice benefit. You don't always have to step over. If you have somebody in your home, like small children or elderly people who can't step over the gate as well, you can open it like that. So that's really great. You know, really the only drawback to this gate is the price tag. It's well constructed, it's very durable. We've had it now for a few weeks and have moved it around and things like that. And it's holding up very well. Our dogs don't really try to escape. It is wooden, so if you have a dog that's destructive, that chews or scratches, this will get ruined very easily. And some of those less aesthetically appealing gates that are made of like a hard plastic would actually be better in that case because they're going to be harder for your dog to ruin. Or they do make metal pet gates as well for chewers, so that's something to consider. Definitely not for chewers, and it is more expensive than most pet gates on the market, but it's a good product. It is very unique in the fact that it has that 360-degree configurability, so that's something to definitely take into consideration if you have kind of a weird shaped area that you want to block off, or a larger entryway, or a one like this that's rounded and just very awkward to try and fit a traditional pet gate in. This one from Primetime Pets would be a great fit. So if you guys have any questions about this gate, feel free to ask. You can find my contact information on our website, which is topdogtips.com. You can find us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. We are on Pinterest and Instagram, as well as YouTube if you're watching us on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our newsletter through our website. If you want to reach out to me directly, I encourage that. My email is samantha@topdogtips.com. I am the one that reads those emails. I don't have an intern or an assistant or anything that reads those. So if you guys send me an email, that's coming directly to me, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have, like I said, about this pet gate, any other pet gates, just dogs in general. If you have a how-to question or a pet product question, I'd be happy to answer that. And if I can't do that, then I will find that answer for you. And if you ask me a question or you have questions about a specific product, I will try and get that on the website. If you have a how-to question that you want to know how to do something with your dog, I will put a how-to video up. If you guys are interested in a product and you ask me questions about that product, I am certainly going to respond to your email and answer those questions for you, but I'm also going to try and get a hold of that product and do a product review for other pet owners as well. The goal of Top Dog Tips here is to educate pet parents on whatever it is that they want to be educated on. So if you have questions, there are other pet owners out there that have them, and I would love to hear the feedback from you guys and be able to share and answer those questions and share the responses with all of our readers and all of our viewers. So I highly, highly encourage you guys to reach out. Absolutely, like I said, email me, or if you contact us through the website or any social media, that'll all get back to me, and I will do my best to get all of those questions and suggestions addressed. So I hope you enjoyed this review on the Primetime Pets 360-degree configurable pet gate, and I will see you guys back next time with another great product review. Have a great day, and thanks for tuning in.